The darkness of space stretched endlessly, punctuated by the soft hum of the colonial defense ship. Park Ji-woo stood at the command center, her eyes fixed on the holographic display that showed the alien defensive line. Red and blue signals danced across the translucent screen, each pulse representing the tension between human civilization and an unknown extraterrestrial threat. Outer Rim Colony Alpha 7 had been silent for weeks. Communication signals had gone dark, and the last transmission spoke of something massive approaching. Ji-woo's fingers traced the edge of the holographic interface, her mind racing through possible scenarios. The ship's communication officer, a young man named Kang Hee-jo, broke the silence. "Commander, we're picking up strange energy signatures near the colony's outer perimeter." His voice trembled slightly, betraying the fear that lurked beneath his professional demeanor. Ji-woo moved closer to the display. The energy signatures were unlike anything they had encountered before. Geometric patterns of light shifted and merged, creating a complex network that seemed almost alive. It was beautiful and terrifying simultaneously. "Zoom in," she commanded. The holographic image expanded, revealing intricate layers of technological defenses. Each layer seemed to adapt and transform, creating a living barrier that made traditional human weapons look like primitive tools. The alien defensive line was not just a wall, it was a breathing, thinking entity. Suddenly, a burst of light erupted from the colony's last known coordinates. Fragments of human technology scattered like broken glass across the dark canvas of space. Ji-woo watched in horror as the remnants of human civilization drifted silently, telling a story of complete and total destruction. "They didn't even have a chance to fight back," Hee-jo whispered. Ji-woo's mind raced. This wasn't just an invasion, it was a systematic elimination. The aliens had created a defensive network so advanced that human technology appeared insignificant. Each layer of their defense absorbed, redirected, and neutralized potential threats with mathematical precision. Her team had spent years studying potential extraterrestrial encounters, but nothing prepared them for this. The defensive line wasn't just a barrier. It was a complex ecosystem of technological superiority that could predict and counter human strategy before it was even conceived. A junior analyst named Park Min-soo approached with a data pad. "Commander, I've been analyzing the energy patterns. There's something strange about their quantum communication grid." His fingers moved quickly across the screen, revealing complex mathematical equations and spectral analysis. Ji-woo leaned in. Min-soo was right. The defensive line had microscopic fluctuations, almost imperceptible variations that suggested a potential weakness. It was like finding a tiny crack in an otherwise impenetrable wall. "We need a team that can exploit this," she said, her voice calm but determined. The ship's artificial intelligence, a sophisticated system named Aria, began calculating potential approach strategies. Holographic simulations showed multiple scenarios, each ending with human defeat. But Ji-woo saw something the AI didn't, a pattern of hope hidden within the chaos. Outside the ship's reinforced windows, the alien defensive line continued its silent, menacing existence. It stretched across multiple star systems, a technological marvel that seemed to breathe and think. Humanity had encountered numerous challenges throughout its history, but this was different. This was an existential threat that challenged everything. They understood about warfare and survival. Ji-woo understood that traditional military strategies would fail. They needed something radical, something that could think beyond conventional human limitations. "Prepare a specialized reconnaissance team," she told Hee-jo. "We're going to find a way through this defensive line no matter the cost." The colony's final moments replayed in her mind, a stark reminder of what was at stake. Millions of human lives depended on understanding this alien technology. One mistake could mean complete extinction. As the ship moved cautiously through the vast emptiness, Ji-woo knew their journey had just begun. The alien defensive line waited, a silent guardian protecting unknown territories. Humanity's greatest challenge was about to unfold, and she would be at the forefront of this cosmic battle. The soft beeping of the ship's systems continued, a mechanical heartbeat accompanying their uncertain journey into the unknown. The research laboratory hummed with quiet intensity. Kim Dae-hyun stood before a massive holographic display, his fingers dancing across complex quantum algorithms. Beside him, Lee Sung-min studied intricate drone schematics, each design more innovative than the last. Dae-hyun's latest algorithm looked like a chaotic network of interconnected light strands. To an untrained eye, it appeared random. But for someone who understood quantum computing, it was a potential weapon against the alien defensive line. "We need something that can adapt," Dae-hyun muttered, tracing a particular strand of code. "Not just react, but think and transform." Sung-min placed a hand on his colleague's shoulder. Their team had been working for weeks without rest, surviving on minimal sleep and pure determination. The fate of human colonies depended on breaking through the alien defensive network. A junior researcher named Park Yoongi interrupted their concentration. "Commander Jiwoo wants an update," he said, sliding a data pad across the table. The screen flickered with raw data from their previous reconnaissance mission. The alien defensive line was more complex than anyone had imagined. It wasn't just a technological barrier. It was a living, breathing system that could predict and counter human strategies almost instantaneously. Dae-hyun's breakthrough came unexpectedly. While analyzing quantum entanglement patterns, he noticed a microscopic fluctuation, a tiny gap in the alien network's communication grid. Most researchers would have dismissed it as background noise, but Dae-hyun saw potential. "Look here," he told Sung-min, zooming into a specific data point. The tiny fluctuation represented less than 0.001% of the entire defensive network. But in quantum systems, even the smallest weakness could be exploited. Sung-min began designing specialized infiltration drones. These weren't traditional military machines. They were molecular chameleons, capable of reconfiguring their entire structure to match the alien network's quantum signature. Their first prototype looked nothing like a traditional drone. It was a shimmering, liquid-like object that could change shape and composition within milliseconds. Sensors embedded throughout its structure could analyze and mimic complex technological environments. Days turned into weeks. Multiple test runs failed spectacularly. Drones disintegrated, quantum algorithms collapsed, and hope seemed distant. But Dae-hyun and Sung-min refused to give up. During one late-night testing session, something unexpected happened. The latest drone prototype managed to penetrate a tiny section of a simulated alien defensive grid. It was barely a millimeter, but it was progress. Commander Jiwoo reviewed their findings with a mixture of skepticism and hope. "This could work," she said, studying the test results. "But we'll need to scale this approach." The team developed a multi-layered strategy. Quantum disruption signals would create momentary vulnerabilities. Adaptive drones would exploit these gaps, gathering critical intelligence about the alien network's inner workings. Yoongi developed advanced camouflage algorithms that could help the drones blend into the alien network's communication patterns. It was like teaching a mouse to speak the language of a complex technological cat. Their biggest challenge was unpredictability. The alien defensive line could adapt faster than human technology could respond. Each infiltration attempt was like playing a high-stakes chess game, where the opponent could change the rules instantly. Sung-min's drone designs became more radical. Some looked like liquid metal, others like intricate crystalline structures that could reshape themselves at quantum speeds. Each design pushed the boundaries of what humans thought was possible. During a critical simulation, their latest drone managed to penetrate 0.03% of the alien defensive grid. It was a microscopic victory, but it meant everything. For the first time, humans had found a potential pathway through what seemed like an impenetrable technological wall. Dae-hyun's algorithms and Sung-min's drone designs represented humanity's most advanced technological effort. They weren't just trying to break through a defensive line, they were rewriting the rules of technological warfare. As the research team celebrated their small victory, they knew the real challenge was yet to come. The alien defensive line waited, a silent and deadly guardian of unknown territories. Humanity's survival would depend on their ability to think beyond traditional limitations. The laboratory continued to hum, a testament to human innovation and unyielding determination. The command ship trembled as another wave of alien energy pulses crashed against its defensive shields. Park Ji-woo watched the holographic displays, her eyes tracking multiple tactical projections simultaneously. "Prepare the quantum disruption sequence," she ordered, her voice steady despite the mounting tension. Kim Dae-hyun's specialized algorithm began its complex dance. Lines of code transformed into living networks, each strand designed to penetrate the alien defensive system. Their strategy was no longer about direct confrontation, but surgical precision. Lee, Sungmin monitored the adaptive drones. Each machine was now a sophisticated entity, capable of changing its molecular structure within milliseconds. They were no longer simple mechanical devices but intelligent infiltration units. The first wave of drones launched silently into the vast darkness of space. They moved like liquid shadows, their surfaces shifting and adapting to match the alien network's quantum signatures. Traditional radar systems would see nothing. They were invisible ghosts in a technological battlefield. Jungi's psychological warfare algorithms began transmitting complex signal patterns. These weren't typical communication signals. They were carefully crafted mathematical sequences designed to confuse and destabilize the alien defensive network's decision-making processes. "We're creating cognitive dissonance," Dae-hyun explained to Ji-woo. "Imagine sending a message that simultaneously means everything and nothing." The alien defensive line started showing unexpected reactions. Sections of the network began to flicker and pulse erratically. Their perfect, mathematically precise defense was experiencing something similar to technological confusion. One drone managed to penetrate deeper than any previous attempt. It sent back fragments of data, glimpses into the alien network's inner workings. Each fragment was like discovering a new language, complex and beautiful in its intricate design. Sungmin's team had prepared for multiple scenarios. Some drones were designed to gather intelligence, others to create microscopic breaches. Each had a specific purpose, like highly trained special forces operatives with unique skills. Suddenly, a massive energy surge erupted from the alien defensive line. It was a counterattack, a violent response to their infiltration attempts. The command ship's shields absorbed the initial impact, but the strain was visible. "Quantum redirect," Ji-woo commanded. Dae-hyun's algorithm sprang into action. They didn't block the alien energy. They redirected it, transforming destructive force into usable information. It was like turning a weapon against its own creator. The psychological warfare continued. Jungi's signals began introducing complex mathematical paradoxes into the alien network. These weren't just random signals. They were carefully constructed, logic puzzles designed to create computational uncertainty. Hours turned into days. The battle was no longer about physical destruction but intellectual manipulation. Humanity was fighting with information, mathematics, and adaptive thinking. Their first major breakthrough came unexpectedly. A section of the alien defensive line, momentarily destabilized, a gap no larger than a few kilometers. But in the vast emptiness of space, even a small opening was significant. "We're making progress," Sungmin said, his voice a mixture of excitement and caution. Casualties were high, multiple drones were destroyed, and the psychological toll on the human crew was immense. Each successful infiltration came with significant risks. One wrong calculation could mean complete mission failure. Ji-woo understood the human cost. Every blinking light on the tactical display represented not just a drone or a piece of technology, but human potential and sacrifice. The alien defensive line continued to adapt. It was learning from their strategies, developing counter-strategies, at speeds that seemed impossible. This was no ordinary technological battle. It was an intellectual chess match where the stakes were human survival. As another wave of adaptive drones launched into the darkness, the command ship hummed with a mixture of tension and hope. They weren't just fighting an alien defensive network. They were challenging the very concept of technological limitations. The vast emptiness of space watched silently, bearing witness to humanity's most sophisticated technological battle. The command ship shuddered as multiple attack formations aligned. Park Ji-woo stood at the center of controlled chaos, her hands steady on the tactical interface. Months of preparation had led to this single moment. "Initiate primary assault sequence," she commanded. Kim Dae-hyun's quantum algorithms activated. Complex mathematical patterns erupted across the alien defensive network, creating microscopic instabilities. Each pattern was a carefully designed weapon, not of physical destruction but intellectual disruption. Lee Sung-min's specialized drone squadrons launched simultaneously. They moved like liquid metal, changing shapes and quantum signatures faster than any tracking system could comprehend. Each drone carried specialized infiltration modules designed to exploit the tiniest weaknesses. The alien defensive line began to react. Energy waves crashed against human attack formations, creating spectacular displays of technological warfare. Blues, purples, and electric whites danced across space, a silent ballet of destruction and resistance. One drone managed to penetrate deeper than any previous attempt. It sent back fragmented data, glimpses of the alien network's internal communication structures. Each fragment was like discovering pieces of an impossible puzzle. "We're creating computational confusion," Dae-hyun explained. "Not destroying, but destabilizing." Jungi's psychological warfare algorithms transmitted complex signal patterns. These weren't simple communication signals. They were mathematical paradoxes designed to create cognitive disruption within the alien defensive network. The first major breach occurred unexpectedly. A tiny section of the defensive line flickered and destabilized. It was less than 0.5% of the entire network, but for humanity, it represented hope. Casualty rates were high. Multiple attack squadrons were decimated within minutes. Human technological prowess was being tested against an adversary that could adapt faster than traditional military strategies could respond. Ji-woo watched the tactical display, tracking each drone's movement. Some were mere data points. Others represented entire attack squadrons. Each blinking light represented human potential and sacrifice. "Redirect quantum energy," she ordered. Dae-hyun's fingers moved across complex holographic interfaces. Quantum signals began transforming, redirecting alien defensive energy back into itself. It was like turning a weapon against its own creator. The alien defensive line started showing unexpected vulnerabilities. Sections began to pulse erratically, losing their perfect mathematical precision. Humanity was fighting not with traditional weapons but with information and adaptive thinking. Sung-min's advanced drones continued their relentless assault. Some were designed to gather intelligence, others to create microscopic breaches. Each moved with a precision that bordered on living intelligence. Hours of continuous assault took their toll. The command ship systems were pushed beyond designed limitations. Crew members worked with machine-like efficiency, understanding that every second counted. "We're creating computational stress," Dae-hyun said, monitoring complex algorithm performances, breaking their ability to predict and respond. The alien defensive network began showing signs of systematic breakdown. Sections that were once perfectly synchronized now moved with uncertainty. Humanity was winning through intellectual warfare, not physical destruction. Ji-woo understood the human cost. Each successful infiltration came with significant risks. Their strategy wasn't about overwhelming force but precise, intelligent manipulation. Suddenly, a massive energy surge erupted from the alien defensive line. It was a final, desperate counterattack. The command ship's shields absorbed the initial impact, but the strain was visible. "Quantum redirect," Ji-woo commanded. The battle had transformed from a physical confrontation to an intellectual chess match. Humanity was challenging the very concept of technological limitations, proving that adaptive thinking could overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. As the assault continued, the vast emptiness of space bore silent witness to humanity's most sophisticated technological battle. They weren't just fighting an alien defensive network. They were rewriting the rules of technological warfare. The command ship hummed with a mixture of tension and hope. each system pushed to its absolute limit. Survival was no longer guaranteed, but humanity's determination burned brighter than ever. The alien defensive line began to crumble. What once seemed an impenetrable technological fortress now revealed its fundamental weaknesses. Park Ji-woo watched the holographic displays, her eyes reflecting the complex dance of energy and information. "We're breaking through," Kim Dae-hyun whispered, his voice a mixture of disbelief and triumph. Massive sections of the defensive network started to collapse, not with explosive violence, but with a strange, almost elegant disintegration. Quantum algorithms created by the human team had systematically dismantled the aliens' technological infrastructure. Lee Sung-min's final wave of adaptive drones moved like liquid shadows through the collapsing network. Each drone was now more than a machine. They were living proof of human innovation. They gathered critical intelligence, mapping the alien defensive system's internal structures. The command ship's crew watched in stunned silence. Years of preparation, months of constant warfare, and countless sacrifices had led to this moment. Humanity was no longer just defending, they were liberating cosmic territories. Jungi's psychological warfare algorithms had done more than anyone imagined. They had introduced fundamental mathematical contradictions into the alien network's core systems. It was like planting seeds of doubt in a perfect machine. 97% penetration, a young navigation officer announced, her voice trembling with excitement. Ji-woo understood the human cost. Thousands of lives had been lost. Each blinking light on the tactical display represented not just technology, but human potential and sacrifice. Their victory was painted with both triumph and sorrow. The alien defensive line continued its slow, beautiful destruction. Energy patterns that once seemed impossibly complex now appeared almost fragile. Humanity had discovered the system's fundamental weakness, its inability to truly adapt beyond its original programming. Dae-hyun's quantum algorithms worked in perfect synchronization with the tactical assault teams. What had started as microscopic breaches had now become a complete systemic collapse. The alien defensive network was dying, not with a violent explosion, but with a quiet mathematical surrender. "We're liberating 14 star systems," Sung-min reported, tracking the expanding human territories. The liberation wasn't just a military victory. It was a testament to human resilience, innovation, and the power of collective intelligence. They had faced a technological adversary that seemed insurmountable and found a way through. Massive energy waves began to dissipate. The once perfect, alien defensive line now looked like a beautiful broken piece of cosmic art. Sections of complex technological networks drifted silently, telling the story of humanity's greatest technological battle. Ji-woo remembered the initial moments of their mission, the destruction of Outer Rim Colony Alpha 7, the seemingly hopeless struggle against an advanced alien defensive system. Now, they had not just survived, they had transformed the very nature of technological warfare. "Prepare, recovery, and exploration." "Protocols," she commanded. The crew moved with practiced efficiency. They were no longer just a military team. They were explorers, scientists, and pioneers. Each recovered piece of alien technology represented a potential breakthrough for human understanding. Survival rates told a stark story. Of the original mission team, only 62% had survived. But they had achieved what seemed impossible. Humanity had broken through a defensive line that had stopped all previous attempts at expansion. Sung-min's drones continued their exploration. They moved through the remnants of the alien network, gathering every possible piece of information. Each fragment was a potential key to understanding technologies beyond human imagination. "We're receiving multiple data streams," Dae-hyun announced. The alien network in its final moments was releasing vast amounts of information. It was like a dying system sharing its final secrets. Ji-woo stood on the command bridge, watching the cosmic landscape transform. The defensive line that had once seemed an insurmountable barrier was now nothing more than scattered technological remnants. The vast emptiness of space seemed to breathe with new possibilities. 14 star systems were now open to human exploration. Territories that had been locked away were now waiting to be discovered. As the command ship moved forward, the crew understood they had done more than win a battle. They had proven that human innovation, collective intelligence, and unwavering determination could overcome seemingly impossible challenges.